Whoa!
Woo! Car guys and car gals, welcome to the cafe. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And this is Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. We are so pumped up to get really this solution session in gear. We have a very, very special guest, one that has also jumped in to championing this message to forgive, focus, fly, to keep growing, and to see solutionaries rise to upshift and uplift an entire industry. Speaking of upshifting and uplifting, do us a quick favor. Tag a car guy, tag a car gal, share. Get it out there. Let them know that we are brewing solutions and we are live. So do us a quick favor, get them in the room. We'll be right back right after these messages from our incredible sponsors like Think Ad Group. We also wanted to make sure that this message got out to you from our special guest from the Dealership Toolkit, which really you can just drop a box of tools inside of the biggest room in the world, which is the room for improvement, and things will explode in your business. Just like that.
That's simple, folks. All you do is get a box of Dealership Toolkit, put it inside your room,
and kaboom.
And kaboom. Your whole business changes the whole game. No, folks, it is really that simple. It's because what they're going to do is they're going to come inside. They're going to take all the work away from you, and they're going to do it all. They're going to make sure that your dealership is running the best way it possibly can. They're going to tune up that engine. That makes sense, right? So we're excited to have the CEO and co-founder on our show today. Oh,
Mr. the one and only Rich DeLancey. Welcome. Hey. We are so pumped up to have him in the room. We met him by way of a great car gal, which we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But welcome, Rich. Welcome to the cafe.
Oh man, I'm so happy to be here. For everybody knows I'm typically a Diet Coke guy, but I'm doing the coffee thing today. So tuning up there for you. So here we go.
That's what I'm talking about. We are excited to have the coffee in your house because we know that Liz is a coffee lover and made sure to get her some fresh brews. What did she think of that?
Oh, she's all over the coffee. For her birthday, I got her a Breweries machine. So now she's her Starbucks out there.
That's what we're on a mission. No, I'm just kidding. We love Starbucks too, but we definitely want to make sure that they learn how to brew car guy coffee. But thank you so much for that. I definitely want to make sure that we talk about the great things that are coming on because you're helping us in going forward in helping promote what great, incredible women are going to be doing for this incredible industry that is the car business. It's transforming of life industry, and we're just so excited to talk about it. I mean, again, we're going to talk about things exploding, car guys, car gals coming together. Let's just throw this out there real fast. Get ready, everybody, to 2021. Car Gal Coffee is coming, and I'm excited for Liz jumping on that show with them as well. That's going to be such a fun time. She's been killing it on Clubhouse, man. You guys have been doing great using that app, huh?
Oh man, she is like the Clubhouse queen. I tell you, I'm normally the first one on all the tech, as you guys know, and I was definitely, I was having her teach me like, hey, how do I do this? How do I talk? How do I raise my hand? So it was weird being on the other side of the fence for once.
It is pretty cool.
Speaking of other side of the fence.
Liz is awesome. For one, you're a very lucky man, and she's a very lucky woman. From what I saw on her birthday, it was a birthday week that you give her. So she was even throwing out, take notes, guys.
Yeah, it's funny. Years and years ago, when we first started meeting, I said, "Hey, next week's your birthday," and she said, "Well, I get a whole week." And I was gullible back in those days. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was from Pennsylvania. She was from Maine, so I thought maybe that was a Maine thing that you got a whole week. So, and I've just been doing it ever since. So, a little bit of gullibility went a long way.
It goes a whole long way, especially when you're talking about your significant other. There's nothing better than treating them above and beyond. That's something that I take note from. One thing, when I was getting really good at my business life, I started taking away from my personal life. I wasn't giving the attention to my wife. And so what I've come to find is I give her more attention than I used to, even more than before. And now that I do that, it's made the relationship amazing. Doing little things, and that's not little, doing big things, but they are little things, like giving your wife a week and letting her know that you care about her. Doing things like that are so big, and that shows love. Even if it feels like it doesn't go that far, folks, believe it does. It does. Your wife, your husband, does not matter who it is. If you show them love, they're going to show the love back. It's like anything else in life, business, life, period. You get what you put in it. And if you don't put anything towards it, you're not going to get back what you should get. And nor should you. Right. So thank you for being here this morning, Richard. Thanks for being a gentleman and also a great husband. Way to show that off, because we like to think of ourselves as good husbands. Hopefully one day great. We do love our wives dearly, and I know you do too. So let's get into this, man. We definitely love to start the show off our favorite way. We have these 3 F's that we always talk about. It's a lot of fun to do. I'm excited to do this with you. It's to forgive, focus, fly. The thing about forgiving things is you have to forgive everything that you've done in the past that wasn't right. We every single day, there's always something that we go through, some kind of struggle, right? Good or bad. Sometimes you don't focus on the bad, but you do need to acknowledge the bad at least and understand where you need to grow from that. So forgiving that and letting it go and just saying, hey, you know what? I messed up. It's okay. I'm going to let all this weight of unforgiveness on my shoulders, of me blaming everybody, all these excuses go away, because I'm ready to start focusing on my future, right? So I can fly as far as I want to go, so I can keep growing. So let's do this. I'm excited about this. Forgive, focus, flies. Let's make it happen. So you ready for this? I'm going to go ahead and let Lou take over the reins. Let's go.
Oh, you car guys and car gals riding, watching, whatever it is that you're doing, join us real quick as we forgive, focus, and fly. Cross the arms. 1, 2, 3. Forgive.
Focus. Fly. Keep growing. Keep growing. There it is. Yay. Good morning. Now we're ready for the show. We are ready to go. We got this 5-liner that we're going to be dropping on you, Richard. I'm so excited about this. These are 5 questions we love to ask our guests because it helps us figure out how you got to where you're at and where you're going to go. All right. So my first question is my favorite question. It always will be. It's, what is your purpose? What's your why? What makes you wake up every day and say, I'm going to go grind and I'm going to make this happen?
It is a cool question. I like helping people. I always have since I was a kid. And the nice thing about what I get to do on a daily basis is I can help dealers and clients all over the country. And, without people coming into their dealership, without leads, without good technology, they can't do their job. You could have the best car in the world. You could have a Tesla dealership, but if nobody knows you're there, nobody's going to come in, right? The best product, I always used to tell people when I first started in advertising years ago, you could have Gordon Ramsay come to your house to cook, and you could have YouTube playing there. And if you didn't tell anybody about it, it would just be you and Gordon Ramsay and you two in the room, and it'd be a little awkward, right? So that's what I get excited. I get excited when I look at the sales board at a dealership and I say, oh my gosh, look at that. They sold 8 today. They sold 15 today. They sold 20 today. I may even get more excited than the people who work at the dealership at times, because, I love seeing that whole thing from, start to end, as somebody that did a simple search and now is walking out of a dealership in a car or a new boat or a new RV. And so that's what powers me every day, man. I get excited. I get, I wake up in the morning just thinking about ways to get more people in. Last night I was thinking about in my sleep, I had this idea for targeting parents who, we had some really cool creative for one of our RV dealers lately, and it had a bunch of kids kicking a soccer ball and playing with the dog. And I'm like, man, we got to target parents, because if parents see this, then they're going to want to come in. I was thinking about that in my sleep last night.
I love it though, but that's what makes you better every single day, is that you're also, you always have that type of stuff in the back of your mind so deeply that you're dreaming about it. So it's an amazing thing, having that type of purpose, having that type of why it's what gets me going, and I'm really glad that we're talking about this morning. Lou has a different why than I do. We're all similar. We all have very similar purposes, but when it gets down to the nitty gritty, there's always got to be that it gets more than just a general thing, right? And there's a lot of things that can motivate us, whether it be growing in business, growing in personal life, growing in whatever it is that you have. Use that why every single day. There was a time in my life where my why was to get a new pair of shoes. It's whatever it was for me to get motivated for that moment. I can make my why general, like my every day when I wake up. Of course, I want to motivate my wife. I want to make my wife happy, know that I'm trying to do my thing. I want my son to see that I'm leaving a legacy of that I work hard and I do everything I can to be happy, and I try to share positivity, because I want my son to see that and him to do that with his family one day and do those types of things. But then it can be as simple, like I said, as, hey, I want a new pair of Jordans. I want a new suit, because I need a new suit. So I need to go out and catch this extra deal. Because sometimes some people out there, if you're in the car business, they sell a certain amount of cars. They made enough money to pay their bills. They may lay down. So I used to find a way to not lay down. It was like, okay, I've made good money already this month. How do I just not sit back and talk with the guys in the back drinking coffee? Well, how can I stay up front and keep catching up or keep making phone calls? Well, it was the little things. I would find the little things, like I said, like the shoes, or I needed this, or maybe I need to, I want to go on vacation and make it a little bit more of a surprise for my wife, have that big dinner that she won't know about. And I just need to get that one extra deal so she doesn't know, it's an extra money for that. So whatever it is, you got to use that.
That's so true. My mentor in sales was a guy named Todd Terper years ago. He found me as a guy. I always wanted to be on the air and radio, as you guys probably could tell with my voice, but there's no money unless you're like, a big time Dan Patrick star. And this guy who was the sales manager at the radio station, he took a liking to me, and he pulled me out of the DJ booth and started teaching me sales. But the thing that he told me, and I still try to do this every day, and I've done it every day for going on 30 years now, was just do one more. At the end of the day, when you think you're done, everything's crossed off on your list, you're ready to pack it in, throw the shovel down, do one more call, one more drop in, one more visit, one more check. And I always, every day at the end of the day, I always think, what's my one more? And that has served me so well in my career. I can't tell you how many big deals or new clients or discoveries I made that were on the one more, that had I just stopped, it would have never happened.
And that's usually what fuels you continuing that. When you see a result come from that one more seed, be like, this is that deal that I closed because I did wrap it up and I made that one more call, or I sent that other email, or I did that other, whatever the thing is that you do, but whatever it is, when you see fruit come from that, man, then you do. It's like, I'm always doing the one more. We try to encourage the guys at the dealership to always be the guy that gets your job done, because that's what you're supposed to do. Get your job done and then some. Be the and then some kind of person. Make it happen, and then a little extra. And that's the difference between, being, good at your job or being elite at your job. The difference between some people, in some cases, it's being the difference between being poor at your job and just being good at your job. Because some people, they don't necessarily. And don't get me wrong, we all have different purposes. We all have different whys. Not everybody has to be the guy who's number one. Not everybody. That's not what their drive. Their drive is to, maybe it's the work is for them to be able to go home and be able to have freedom at home, right? Be able to pay their bills. They're not so concerned about the career. They're more family oriented, and that's okay. Everybody has their purpose in life. Everybody has what's going to be their thing, but
for us business minded people, it's a big deal, for us to take that extra step. It's the same way when you implement stuff like that Rich was talking about right there. Rich is talking about doing one more. Now, if you implement that in your business life every single day, that is what gets you ahead. That's what puts you and sets you aside, because not everybody does that. Most people do one less. I mean, seriously, like you know what? I'm close enough. Right. I did enough today. No, it's never enough. Michelle Streets just put up thing says make it impact, right? Always make an impact. When you make an impact, it's making an impact for a lot of people, and you're setting a precedent and for your teammates. Like as a leader, the CEO, co-founder of Dealership Toolkit, I mean, come on, you have to lead by example. If you're not doing that one more, how can you expect your team to do that one more? Right. So when you do that and you show it, and don't, oh, look at me, I do one more, it's not that. And it's not what he's doing. He's just, giving us tips. What I'm telling you is that when your team sees you do it, you don't have to tell them to do it. When they see the leader doing it, they follow the leader. They get better. They want to keep up with the leader. They want to make sure that and that's what it is. You go into work. If Rich goes into work today and he's sitting in the call center and he starts just acting negative, his whole team's going to get negative. He goes in there and he acts positive, his whole team will be positive. And that's just how it goes. And it's something about that. And don't get me wrong, you do have to go in there and sometimes you have to tell your team, hey, this is the way it needs to happen, because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But you do it in a very good way. You explain, give examples of what that can help them grow. No, hey, don't just do this because I said so. Do it because if you do, this is what can happen. Matter of fact, I know this is going to happen. So Lou, what you got him for number 2?
Well, we are always going to try to, on the second question, tie it into the car guy-ism of the business and understanding. Rich, how did you get involved in the car business side of marketing, of doing all of the things that you do to brew solutions for dealerships nationwide, worldwide, all over, right? What is it that got you into the auto industry?
Ooh. Well, funny, I'm probably the greatest nepotism heir in history. And or my former company, I worked for Verizon, and I worked with all different types of clients. I worked with plumbers and lawyers and doctors. I've always been a digital guy. And I worked with occasional dealers, but dealerships have always had specialized marketing firms. And Verizon one time wanted to move Liz and I from Washington, D.C. for me to take over an operation in the Philadelphia market. And Liz did not want to move to Philly, even though I'm from Philly. But cheesesteaks, Eagles, fly Eagles fly, the whole 9 yards. But she worked her back channels at the company we came from, and they wanted to start a digital department. They were in the auto industry, largely just a direct mail firm. And so to keep Liz, they offered me a job. And because I would do just about anything for Liz, I left my job and came on and started selling dealers. But boy, was that different. But man, it's the funniest thing was, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Professionally, I have such a passion for it now. Liz and I, she was a general manager of a store. She ran stores. She grew up in the car business. And I was always one of those car groupies, asking her, we'd be watching a movie and seeing some guy in the box. And I'd be like, does that really happen? And, the King of Cars, remember that television show?
Oh, yeah.
I was like addicted to the Blue Genie and the whole thing. I was just fascinated by it. And then all of a sudden I was on the inside, right? Getting to work with dealers. And the very first dealer I ever worked with was John Hinderer Honda in Ohio. And this was at a time when probably 8 or 9 out of 10 dealers I talked to weren't doing any kind of advertising on Google. I'd walk in and I would talk to them about their digital, and they'd say, well, we have a website and we do email. But this is back when search engine marketing was just really starting to get going. And this guy at John Hinderer Honda, I'll never forget, I was with Mr. Hinderer, and he's like, man, this other store, I used to be number 1, and this other store is kicking my butt. And I said, well, have you Googled your name lately? He goes, why would I Google my own name? I'm like, just do me a favor, Google your name. And this other store was right over top of him. I said, those guys owe you a fruit basket because you're running all these ads. People Google your name and they get the traffic. He's like, I ain't buying no fruit basket. And that was the beginning. I was hooked, and I've been all over the country and spoke at, great AutoCon, RVDA, NADA, all these things. And man, I am the biggest car junkie now because of it, because of John Hinderer Honda.
Wow. Well, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that you've been through those phases of the car business and that you grew the love. I remember the king of cars, and because I'm the king of cars. I remember that whole thing, like the chop. Yep. He was awesome, man. Tobin Dodge, and it's out in Las Vegas, and they were the #1 like Dodge store in the country at the time, and they were doing some major stuff. And to come on television and have a reality show like that, and to show light in the car business was pretty cool. And we've seen movies, we've seen them all. We've seen Suckers, we've seen Used Cars, we've seen, they even got that, what was that one where they had the road guys with Jeremy Pivens in it?
Yeah,
good, right? So being that we're old road guys, we thought that was funny to see that. Different, this big old circus show, the gypsies coming in town, doing all that type of stuff. But we absolutely love this business. We fell in love with it too, so we know how you can fall in love with it also. And I'm glad that you did, because you're bringing a lot of great stuff to this business, and we're real excited about what your future has to hold with your company. I know that you guys are still a young company that are growing right now, and this year is a year where you're able to actually really spread your wings, because you're able to forgive all the past. Now it's all over with, and you're able to focus on it, and now you're able to fly. And I know that you guys are going to fly, because your wings are they're going. You guys were in that cocoon stage, so I'm excited about you guys being the butterfly that you guys can be now. And I know
you guys you got me in trouble, by the way, with that whole. I love the forgive, focus, and fly. When I met you, for some reason that just resonated me, and so you shipped me one of these bands, right?
Yeah.
And I've had it on my wrist since to remind myself every day. And Liz said to me the other day, she goes, we have Dealership Toolkit, and you never wore one of your own ones. And I'm like, well, it didn't say forgive, focus, and fly on it, or I would have. But so I got in trouble because I'm wearing your band and not the one that she made for Toolkit. Well, I just want to let you know that's how much I've adopted the philosophy.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, Dan. That means a lot to us. It does. But that's what that's the thing. And you guys we're partnered up. We're all forgive, focus, flying together. We're a team here, and I love that. I love that you're implementing that with you and your mentality, and and that means a lot. I know that it touches home, because that whole forgive, focus, fly started here local, and it's become now a national thing, and a worldwide. We have it all the way in Australia too now. With Michael Dooley down there. So there's a lot of it's growing really fast, because it's a great way to think. It's a very simple 3 words. It's a great mantra to any time that you're going through some difficulty. If you really want to think about it, just sit down for a second, just forgive that problem, and so you could focus, and then start to focus on what you want, and then fly with it. It's that simple. It really is. Life is that simple. A lot of us, we focus too hard on the negative so bad that we think it's overwhelming. And it's really, I remember staying up late at night, not being able to sleep because of one little thing. And it's like, why did I let myself get to that? And I've really learned to adapt to the forgive, focus, fly. And it's really helped me a lot too. So yes, I'm glad you're doing that. We have by the way, I'm going to announce that we have some new ones coming in, and they're going to be a little bit different than this. And I'm going to send you guys a big old packet of some new ones that are coming in. They're going to still have the forgive, focus, fly, and the keep growing, but the outside where their lettering is for the Car Guy Coffee stuff, all that's going to be, it's going to be embossed. It's going to be sticking up. So it's going to be a little bit nicer. So we're going to have some of those should be showing up any day. They're in the mail. So they say, right? So we'll see when they get here. We make sure we send you some more. We'll send a bunch for your team down there too, in the call room and everything else. And this way everybody can have one, but we do appreciate that. Welcome to the business. We're so lucky to have Richard in it.
Tie in a couple things there that Richard did say, and this is just for conversation, necessarily 5-liner stuff, but we got a great marketer in the room.
There you go.
And we have all these other marketers that get to see and or test in, maybe sip in a little bit of what's happening, because there were huge challenges whenever presenting your product to a car guy, right? Car guys are some of the best and strongest closers, sellers in the world. And I think something that's also impeded the growth of the car business is the strength that car guys had in closing. That you can't close me on this product. We're working, we're putting up numbers, we're making money, we're the biggest in the industry, we're the biggest in our area, we're the big fish in the pond, while all of these other industries are embracing different parts of marketing and how to sell their product, they weren't growing because of how good they were at being closers, right? They didn't let people with real solutions into the room to really entertain them. And don't get me wrong, I know what it's like daily. I mean, I'm fielding calls all the time. Different people wanting to give demos, different people wanting to tell us their products. I'm going to get you 10 more car deals a month. I'm going to get you 40 more car deals a month. You know, everybody's going to get us some more, some way, some shape, somehow. And everybody has to figure out what fits for their processes, because every dealership is pretty much a little different than the other. But you stayed to it. You stayed continuing to press forward and to build and to take some of those strengths and also not hold it against other people. What is it that you think is the biggest hurdle for, and this is not a 5-liner question, definitely not. But what do you think the biggest hurdle is for dealers inside of that space where they're letting somebody get into their business? What have you seen as being the thing that's like the aha moment for dealers when they're like, you know what, I probably could use your product now that I've actually listened to you?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I've always been successful is I don't think I sell as much as I try to educate and teach and show, and it's data. It's gotten me in trouble, and it's been very successful. What I mean by that was one of the guys that works for us now, Rick Freeman, director of sales. He was a sales rep years ago, and he was one of the first guys that started teaching me the car business. And he took me under his wings, and he took me to this Kia store in New England. And I'm a data guy. I'm data in, data out. It's X. It's black and white, X's and O's, right? And I looked at this guy, and I'm like, man, your website is terrible, and here's why. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just trying to help the guy, right? Man, you would have thought I called his kid ugly or something. That guy, he got so mad. He got red in the face. He threw us out of the office. It was so funny. Rick and I get back to the car, and Rick looks at me, and he has like this family voice. And he goes, well, I guess you won't do that again, will you? And I'm like, and so from that point forward, really what I just tried to do with dealers is just show them the data. Because here's the thing, the reason why I love working with dealers are data people just like me, right? Yeah. They're a little sexy, they're a little sexier, a little cooler. But when I put the numbers on the page and they look down at the numbers, they can relate. And then we get discussing the numbers, and nobody's selling each other. We just get into this thing where, well, what can we do to make these numbers better? And I say, hey, I can do X, Y, and Z. And they say, well, you know what? If we team that with this, this, and this, and the next thing we know, we have a plan and we're working together. And that's really just what I've tried to do in my career, is just not sell you, but just lay it out and, try to. One of the comments or compliments I was ever given, I worked for a guy named Bill Riley, which I have a lot of respect for. And he sent me an email one time after NADA when I just talked to every dealer. I was on the floor 14 hours a day, 3 straight days. I could hardly talk when I got done. He said, Rich, you are the epitome of the humble servant. Mm-hmm. And that meant so much to me. That's one of the emails I've always kept around, was because that's what I truly just want to help you. I don't want to sell you. I don't want to, grab your money and run. If you need me at 3 a.m. in the morning, and you're one of my dealers, and you call and say my website's down, or hey, this email went out with the wrong price, I'm up. I'm on my computer. I'm fixing it, because we're in this together. I drive Liz crazy. We'll be out in the middle of the ocean on a cruise, and a dealer will call me, and I'll take 2 minutes to try to help them, because we're partners that way.
That's right. Wow. That's huge. That's relationship over revenue.
I love that. I love that you talked about what you did. You put that work in, and you were being a servant, and you're just trying to help people. And when you truly do that, when your business is built around helping, it will flourish. There may be times where it seems like it's tough because, but there's going to be a bunch of people who reach out to you once they need it. Sometimes people don't realize what they need at first. Sometimes they're too caught up in, oh man, I don't want to make a change because of this, but then they realize I need to make a change. That's the only time anybody really will. It's like quitting smoking cigarettes. People won't quit smoking cigarettes until they really want to quit. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to quit tomorrow, unless you truly feel like you want to quit. Your mind has to be like, I'm done. I am over this. And that's the same thing with most business owners is there's a lot of them out there that are very innovative. They're always trying to do, some of them are too innovative. They're trying to do too many things, right? And then there's some that don't want to make any changes because they've been doing it this way since their daddy owned the store or whatever it was, right? But it's time to change. And sometimes when you hear that by using the numbers, you know, you're a numbers guy, you understand, you could show them, hey, here's the analytics. This is how it's going to break down. This is what you need to do. This is how it can work. And this is how I can help you. And even after you show it and you could show them that this will increase your bottom line, at the end of the day, unless they want to do it, unless they're really believing it's time to change, they're not going to. But that doesn't mean they won't, just not that day. Sometimes it takes a little while. Same thing in a car.
And sometimes they just can't. And that's the whole reason why Dealership Toolkit is here today. I've developed great technology over the years that has just sat on the shelf, and the dealer didn't mean to put it on the shelf. They get busy. The showroom's full of ups. There's somebody complaining about a delivery. A car has a scratch on it, and just life happens. And I used to get these awkward phone calls. Rich, we love your ideas. We love the product. We really thought it would work for our dealership, but we just don't have the time. And so I got tired of being fired for those situations. And so that's how Dealership Toolkit came to be, because today, what we really strive for, if a dealer never touches any of our stuff, all they have to do is work the guy we're going to get in the showroom as the up. That's it. Now, we have some dealers that are very involved. They're going to dig in. You're going to get more out of it, but you can work with us. Hey, as a dealer, you don't have to do a damn thing if you don't want to. Just sell the up. And if you can't sell the up, I can't do that part, right? I'm going to get that up there. We're going to put them in front of you. Just sell the up. And that's the, I think the magic of Dealership Toolkit is just truly, we can, for a smaller store, a store that's tightly staffed, or during COVID, we really grew because now all of the extra employees typically at the dealership, they had to downsize and they were running on a skeleton crew. And all of a sudden we were there to support them. And that's what we do now.
Right. And in most dealerships, they don't know how to operate from home. It doesn't, that model was not something that anybody was prepared for in the car business, for everybody to say, yeah, hold on, flip, everybody home now. That's what you're going to do. And then how to operate doing life at home. I mean, working from home is a no joke task, you know, especially when you have children, you have pets, you have spouses, you have, I mean, so many distractions. You have home improvement projects. I mean, right?
Or if especially if you don't have a home office, you know, a lot of people don't. You know, if you don't have a dedicated space to be able to get away, it's very difficult. You know, distraction. You know, they're everywhere, and it's very tough. I know I've worked from home before, and you know, we had to do it during this COVID a little bit, but it was very difficult to stay focused on something because it's so many things. Like you said, you could do. Your wife could be like, "Hey, do this home improvement." Here's your honey-do list, right? And here's all this stuff, you know, and it can be very difficult. But when you do find a good rhythm, or if you have a good way of doing it, it can be actually very good. Right. It's like anything, you know, some people take it and run with it. Some people make excuses, you know, and that's what happens. I want to throw a quick shout out real quick, because I see this. We were just talking about smoking cigarettes, and Amanda, she's part of the Rise and Grind Elite, and I love her. She's definitely showing tons of growth over this last 6 months that I've known her, and she just quit smoking cigarettes. And that's what we were talking about. I've smoked a pack a day since I was 14. Try to quit time and time again. Just quit in December. Last cigarette was 12/20/2020.
Excellent.
That is so awesome. She says, there it is. Yeah, it finally stuck. I'm a non-smoker. I love it. You are a non-smoker, and I congratulate to you. And I know I know you've been going through a lot, Amanda. I appreciate you for being here this morning. She's been throwing some shares out there. She's been making a lot of comments today. She has been super live this morning, and I appreciate you for being here. You know, a couple quick shout outs to people who've been here this morning. There's some people I can't see the name. It says Facebook user, but it says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, he or her. Whoever it is, I appreciate you for being here. We obviously got Amanda. She's throwing a bunch of great stuff. Charles Higgins is here. We got Joe Reinhardt. He's here. We got Liz, of course. She's talking about she's drinking her car guy coffee today. Hold on. And there's no coffee in that big blue diet. It's okay though. And then says Brett. Schuessler, he's here. We got Jason Garris here. Well, my man. We got Jay Woolrich. Well, hello. I mean, we have a ton of people. I got people on LinkedIn. I got a whole bunch. I got double digits of people watching there. We got tons of people watching it on Facebook. I know it only shows a certain number up here that you see, Rich, but that only is one page on Facebook. So we have a lot of people commenting, watching right now. Thank you all for being here this morning. It's been an honor to sit here and talk with Rich right now. I'm sure you guys are gathering some great information. Folks, pay attention real close because this guy is on a rocket ship to success, and he's going to be able to show you guys a way to get there. We got Russell Hill also here. We got Durrell Ussery, man. Oh my goodness. We got all kinds of people here. So thank you very much. These are just the comments. So thank you. So I'm going to get to question number 3. Question number 3, my friend, is that we all go through this business and we've all had some people who've influenced us. I might know this answer. Who has been your biggest influence, since it doesn't just necessarily just business influencer? Who's been the biggest one for you that's helped you get to the next level? Maybe like a mentor.
So, you guys are gonna think I'm like the ultimate kiss ass right here.
But I don't think so. I think I know the answer.
We see where this is going.
It's Liz, and we were professional colleagues before we became romantically involved. But from day one, if you guys get to know me, I'm happy with my laptop sitting in a room by myself, just banging out stuff. That's who I am naturally, right? And Liz really forced me to get out of my shell. And from a mentoring standpoint, she also keeps me out of my head. I can get that head trash at times, and she focuses me. And the thing, it pisses me off about her, but it's probably the best. She never lets me stop. Right. When I come up with something and I'm all proud, I'm just like the little kid coming home with the report card with the A-. Liz has always been the one but it was an A-. Isn't there something above A-? And it drives me crazy. And sometimes I get so mad at her, but I've had my best breakthroughs, I think, at times, because when she says it's done, it's done. And that's that. So she's had a huge impact on me. The other guy that had a huge impact on me was when I was talking about radio, Todd Terper. And, he was one of the first and probably the only sales manager I ever really worked for that really read all the time. He read all the sales books. He used to give me books, and he tried to teach me more about life than about sales, and I always appreciated that. I had a family issue years and years ago, and he pulled us off the road. We went into a restaurant, and we just talked for 3 hours about the family issue, and in the middle of a work day. And that to be good to people and to try to I've always tried to treat my employees the way he treated me, because he was just a great role model.
Wow.
Boom.
Those are two people that you could definitely honor. Obviously, I know Liz, and I think that Liz, I know she's definitely taking care of that. I know that she's definitely been a huge influence in you. And it's like you mentioned earlier. What was the name of your second influencer again?
Todd Terper.
Todd Terper. You said that he was trying to help you with life more than it was business. But folks, it's crazy, a little secret, that life and business are direct correlations. The way you act in life will determine how your business runs. The way you run your business will determine how your life runs. They all go together. There's something about habits. There's something about consistency. There's something about having integrity. All those things translate to business. All those things translate to family. So it's having those core values inside you. It's so key. I love that you've had those people in your life, that you've been able to do that. I love that, you understand that you do understand it. You understand, because you just talked about Liz, who is your wife, who is the most important person in your whole world, right? And when you're having somebody like that is such an influence before you were even like that, when business influencer to you, and then to become part of that and to be able to humble you, you think you did something great, and she's like, hey, that's an A-. What about an A or A+, right? And that's so funny, because I'm Asian, right? I'm half Korean, and my mother, that's exactly how she did with me. Hey, Mom, I look at this. I got straight A. She goes, yeah, but one of those A's is a very low A. You could have done better. But it's so funny. A B is like a C in the household of my mother's house, right? When I grew up. So, and it's the same way with my son. My son, we do the same thing with him, but it's funny. He's a great kid. But anyhow, that being said, man, that is awesome that you throw honor to them too. I don't even know both of them. I know Liz. I know how powerful Liz is. Liz is an amazing person, you're very lucky to have her, like I said, and I know she's lucky to have you too. And it's good that you have somebody there that can influence you and help you get to that next level, and to have somebody that can humble you. But at the same time, if you came in with that A+, she's going to praise you for that too, though. She's going to make sure you're taken care of.
There you go.
She's going to, here's your Diet Coke, my friend. There you go. You can have extra today. So
I believe that all women, when attaching and getting into that relationship with men, I mean, they all of them upgrade us, right? I mean, Beyonce says it great. Let me upgrade you. Right? And that's usually like the pitch that I would do, like trying to get a co-buyer, like let's get your wife on, let's get your girlfriend on the loan, right? And trying to encourage her to be part of it. Hey, don't you want to upgrade them, right? We try to get them all pumped up about knowing that they are making the man better. The word says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing, and it's more than just somebody to look good on our side. It's more than just somebody to have that companionship with. It's somebody that's going to go through the muck, the mire, the horrid things that we get over inside of our life, but we're attached to somebody else that makes us better.
boom.
Every day makes us better, and that we are getting better because we want to be better for them. I know that every book that I've read concerning how to be a better husband, how to be more intentional, all of that was for the intent of not for me to say that I'm better at something, but because I want to present myself better to my wife. When I'm putting the outfit together, it's really, hey, do I look all right today? Does this look not good? No, I need to change. All right, I'll be right back. And it's always for the other. And that's what's great about any good complementary relationship, where you are upgrading each other. You are finding a way to make each other better. And when you get to patch that into business, folks, it explodes. When a family really digs in there together to take on the task that is the business, man, guys, it's usually an unstoppable business when a family gets in there and they dig in together, because it's easy for people that only have the business to be able to separate from each other.
Yes.
But when you are welded together in your relationship, folks, you understand we're going to make it through this no matter how hard it is. If it's hard on you, well, then it's hard on me. And if it's easy for you, well, then I'm going to help make it easier for you.
Right.
Or for me.
But it takes that honesty, and that's the one thing he has with Liz, is that she's honest. She'll tell him, hey, that's great, but we could do a little better. She says down here, he gets extra ice when he gets an A+. I love it. So, but that's it. She absolutely adores you. And I know that she absolutely loves you, but she also respects you when it comes to business too. So much so, and you do the same with her. And that's what it takes. Yes, when you team up with a family member with business and you're working together, it can be difficult at times, because it's all day, every day, nonstop. Business or not, you have to make agreements or disagreements, right? But then you have to learn to take that business and then separate that from your home life, and that's very difficult when you work together all day long. But I believe that you guys do a great job with that. I know you do, and I because like I said, she's bringing you that ice. She's making sure you got that. No, I love Liz.
You cool.
You're very lucky. Liz is awesome. Liz is super awesome.
Super real. That's
super,
what I love talking
100% real.
Keeps it real.
So we're going to get her on the show eventually too. And I know she's like, no, we're going to get Rich on first. Then we'll get me on. But I definitely, if anything, she has to get on the Car Gal Coffee podcast.
Absolutely.
I want her to be like, if not the first guest, the second, I want her to be in that first 5 at least. Whenever she has that time, we're going to make that happen. So Liz, it's on you. You're getting on either our show or the Car Gal Coffee show. You're going to have to than
maybe both.
So,
probably both.
Actually, you definitely will be on both eventually, but you're gonna have to pick one, and you're gonna have to do one soon, Liz. So we'll get you on soon. So, what you got?
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. It's all gonna be good. Yes. Good.
But speaking of not being scared, there are things that have happened inside of your business, your career, your relationship that have probably hit you on the chin. Had to take a step back. We've had the chance to figure out some of the things you've had to forgive, focus, and get ready to fly from, because non-competes and all that cool stuff, right, in life. So, but I want to know inside of that, because you have been on an adventure with your spouse and with the team inside of business. You've had mentors inside of your life that showed you that, like John Maxwell would say, it doesn't matter how much you know until they know how much you care. and people have been able to speak into your life because of their what they've paid into your life, right? They've sowed good things into it, but you've learned a lot of lessons. You've gone through a lot of things, and you guys have to together. What has been the hardest lesson that you've learned in business inside of your adventure now? What has been the hardest lesson you've had to learn and actually begin to improve because you've learned that lesson?
The hardest thing for me is as I was talking earlier, I come at things from that I just want to help, and I just want to be that, humble servant, for lack of a better description. What it took me a long time to understand is that not everybody's that way, right? And where I always tend to look at the best in situations and the best in people, taking things at face value, it wasn't always that way. So a couple of things in my, since we launched the company, evolving from this digital guy, from this developer, into more of a leadership CEO role, I've had to, learn that not, everybody that I hired, or not everybody that we partnered with, or not even everybody that I've worked for in the past is genuine about certain things. And one of my partners in this business is always pushing me to see the worst, to plan for the worst in any situation. And that is just was foreign to me, right? And but if you plan for the worst and then the worst doesn't happen, you're ahead. And he's right in that way. But having to think about what could go wrong, that's been a little bit of a change for me.
That's good stuff, man. That's and there's always going to be challenges, right, folks? 2020 is behind us, and I joined the army of people that keep saying that, but it is behind us, and you have other challenges that are in front of you. Telling the guys as we went through finishing up the last month of last year, 2021 is going to have challenges. Every year before now has had challenges. Yes. Next month is going to have challenges.
Yes.
You're going to get a lot of no's, especially in this business. You're going to get no's the majority of the time. It's a numbers game. It's all in ratio. And as much rejection as we take, there's so many lessons to learn in it. The people that have said no to me that I couldn't close helped me to be better for the people that I eventually did close. I understood what worked. I understood what didn't work. We understood what was going to actually grow and what wasn't going to grow. And as you taken your business from where it was to the challenges that some people would throw in the towel. Some people would say, you know what, we need to just figure out a whole other business because this just isn't going to work. We're not going to be able to pursue our dream. But you took those hits on the chin, and so many of you other solutionaries out there have taken those hits on the chin. You're going to take some hits on the chin maybe today, but guess what? You're still going to be able to get up. You're going to have to forgive it. You're going to have to focus on what you can do and fly above it. But it's incredible to have people like you and all these other solutionaries that have jumped inside of the cafe to tell us these stories, because what we learned is that we have so much in common. And the biggest thing that we always focus on is what we really want to do to help. The purpose in our heart to try to help somebody helps us get past whatever it is that stuck us on the chin, right? And you've been able to do that, and you're doing it for so many people, and we can't wait to continue helping you get to that next level and get this message out there that Dealership Toolkit and the solutionaries that are you all, not just the name, not just the brand, right? You all, Rich, Liz, Erica, the team, right? You are the solutionaries that are helping to solve those problems. Yes. When the dealerships ran to home and tried to figure out how to do business and got petrified and scared, you said, hey, we're ready for this. We are ready. Let's go. We have your solution. Calm down. Watch my team go to work. And then people say, holy cannolis, results. Holy cannolis, this is working. We're having good months. Things are growing. That's the victories that you're like, whew, I'm glad that I didn't stop. I'm glad that I didn't give up. And we applaud you for that. We really, really appreciate people like you sticking it in there, keeping it going.
And he makes good points there, folks. That's where we don't grow unless we lose or have failures or have something bad. Because if you always win all the time, which sounds like fun, it's not, because then you don't realize how great winning is. You don't realize how great having those accomplishments happen. Like I was my son, I love to make this little correlation. My son, he played on basketball teams that always won, and then he played on one that didn't. What a difference that was mentality wise. It's like and then when they did win, it's like when they finally started to get together and they started to make the team work, and all of a sudden they started winning, those accomplishments felt huge, and it's through that, because when you win all the time, he didn't realize how good it was. Like, he was like, oh man, it's just normal. This is what you're supposed to do. I'm like, no, that's not what always happens, son. Not everybody constantly wins games and blows teams out. When it didn't happen, they started to second guess themselves, but then they got together, they came up with solutions. They made their defense better. They switched positions on people. Next thing you know, they got better. And now once they did that, and then they won that first game that they won after losing all those games. Oh my, it was like they won the national championship or world championship for the NBA. They were like wanting to throw confetti on the court and everything. But it's true though. It's like you don't realize how sweet accomplishments are unless you've had those failures, or if you had those not trials, I should say, not triumphs, but trials. Because then the triumphs that come are amazing, and they amplify because you put the work in. You know how much you can appreciate that, because it doesn't come as easy as you thought it did. So that is what's the beauty about having things that teach you lessons, because it's the best thing in the world. We talked about it this morning at 7:30. The room for improvement. There's always room for that. And no matter how good you are, there's always more room for improvement. And if you believe that, I promise you, not only will your business do well, but your family life will do well, your personal life, your friendships, everything. There's always room for improvement. So that being said, let's get to question number 5 for all you know.
Oh,
all right. So, so number 5, we all have bad things happen. We have this or whatever, but there's these rewards that we get, these accomplishments that are major in life, from doing all this hard work. Out of all the stuff that you've done in life, Rich, and in personal, whatever it is, what has been your greatest reward?
What it's allowed my family to do, my efforts, if right before the whole world went bust, we were very, very fortunate. We were on one of the last cruises to leave before everything got locked down. And in fact, when we were out, like on day 5 of the cruise, the captain came on and said, hey, look, you might have seen that they're shutting down cruising, but you're going to be able to finish, and we're going to have a good time and back. But on that trip, there was, 4 families, Liz and I and the kids, and our first grandkid, and we were all together, and just having the opportunity and the money to do something like that is a great reward. So what's always been for me is just been, and I'm not talking about buying stuff, but just being able to put your, have the opportunity that, for years I used to spend 225 days on the road, hundreds and hundreds of airplane flights. So I had all those frequent flyer miles. If our son and our grandkid and our wife wanted to come down from New Hampshire, I just went and used some frequent flyer miles that flew down. Little things like that. My son went back to college a couple weeks ago, and he didn't want to drive all the way from Florida to Virginia one day. So I was able to get him a nice, hotel suite on my points. Like, I have nothing else to spend them with right now. So it's the little things. And then the other, from a professional standpoint, is just seeing dealers use my stuff. I get a kick out of, when they post something on social media, hey, we did this or we did that. And they don't even have to call it out that it was our tool that allowed them to do it. But when I see it, or I see a screenshot, and I'm like, oh, that's ours. That's kind of cool. That after I'm walking around here, that there might be technologies or strategies or tools that I came up with. That's very rewarding to me.
Heck yeah.
That is awesome.
What would be rewarding about seeing people take what is your baby, put it to work, and then have some great results from it, right? See some awesome things happen inside of their life. Richard, inspiring that you, again, we have these conversations with people, and we have some of them off the camera. We have them some on here. Some of the deepest, best conversations we've seemed to be having are right here on the screen where everybody else is watching. Could be a bunch of people in the room, could be nobody, but getting to learn you all. I mean, these are questions that we seriously want to know about people that we get involved with in any capacity. And as we see things happen inside of our families, as we see growth happen inside of the industry, the thing that we want to make sure that people stay focused on from beginning to the end is, of course, their why, and then their reward. What is it that they're rewarded about? So car guys, car gals, those of you that are managers out there that are getting together with your guys, something that you do very regularly is have the great news meeting at the store. It's definitely something that you want to get your people to be able to share and come out with good stuff. Everybody's daily routines are different, but when they show up to that meeting, when they show up to formation, when they show up to do the job, there has to be an enthusiasm that comes to them. And sometimes that enthusiasm waves, but if you attach your enthusiasm to your why, it's hard to get that off. I'm always excited about the great things that are happening inside of the life of my children, the life of my wife, the life of even my dog, right? I'm pumped up. I'm so pumped up about my dog today. We're having another doodle just hang out in the house and I think he's probably jealous. My wife is sending me pictures of him saying, I'm out. I'm not hanging out with him. But the different things that we end up doing to grow together helps us to make us stronger as time goes on. And right now, I feel like there's a lot of victories that are on their way. And that was the challenge of yesterday, to bring up the victories. What is your greatest victories inside of this business? What has this business done for you? Some people in the room were 2 months in the business. Some people are 1-2 years in the business. But there was something that marked me from one of my guys, John Day. Shout out to John Day. John Deals. He said, before I got into the car business, I worried about check to check. I worried about whether or not I was going to have the money to go have fun. And having that constant pressure on you makes you do life differently. And him being able to say, I don't worry about check to check anymore. You guys see the upgrades that I've had in my ride. I'm not sweating that. And I am so thankful for this business. And I didn't think that any of this process would work or anybody would do any of the things that we said to do. And when people started saying, okay, I'll do it. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, let's do it. And that started to build that faith. And now he's one of our top producers. He's Steady Eddie. And he is seeing that it's not just about making the money, but about the mindset that you have at knowing you can go produce your own wealth. You can produce it yourself. Yes. And that type of empowerment is what we want to make sure you all do. So ask your people today, what is your greatest victory inside of this business? Why are you here? Give me some great news. Pour it out. I encourage you. It'll change the culture around you. If you got a bunch of stick in the muds,
you do
find out.
You need to make sure every one of your people understand their why. It's our first question we ask everybody, but it's hard for people to stay motivated to keep moving forward without having a purpose. So make sure your team understands that. Coach them up on that. Have them write that why down in front of them. Put it on their mirror at home, and when they're brushing their teeth every morning, so they see it. Put it on their computer screen, so when they open it up, it's their backdrop, whatever it is, screensaver. Make it possible for them to see that, and explain that. I know it works for me. It really does, and I'm not saying it works for everybody, but I bet it does. And I would say that if you have a why, always think about that why. Every time you don't want to do it, go to it. Every time you think that I need to give up, go to that. Whenever you don't want to do that one more, do that one more because of that why. This has been a great morning. For one, great, Rich, it's so great to get to know you more, get to hear your backstory. I definitely love the teamwork and the partnership that you have with you and Liz. You guys do a great job together. You guys hold each other up in a beautiful way. You guys help and complement each other, I should say, is the right word. And you guys do a great job with that. Your company, Dealership Toolkit, there's the website right there. I know people are probably curious, how do I get a hold of him? Go to his website. You can also look up Richard DeLancey. Look him up on LinkedIn, Facebook. He's everywhere, actually. But go to LinkedIn or Facebook. If you're on LinkedIn, I think that's probably his favorite place, but I know it is mine. Go to LinkedIn, connect with him. He will talk to you. He'll give you advice. It's all about what he can do to help. He's not going to sit there and try to sell you anything like he said earlier. All he's going to do is offer some advice. And if it works, You guys may be able to shake hands and partner up. If not, you'll shake hands, leave as friends. If anything, you're going to be one step ahead of what you were after a conversation with somebody like Rich. Seriously, there's no doubt in my mind that you will. Whether you use his product, whether or not, he'll let you know if the product is going to work for you or not. He's not going to sit there and yeah. There's nothing that he won't try, but he's definitely going to make sure that you're not going to get something that you don't need. That's what the whole point of the toolkit is. You may need just one of his tools, or you may need all his tools, whatever, or maybe none of them. Maybe you just need a conversation with him to motivate you and get you pumped up for the day. Whatever it is, get a hold of him. Reach out, www.dealership toolkit. They got everything on there. Their website's amazing, folks. They are growing fast, so you better get on it quick before them prices start going up. That's what happens, folks. You know what happens when business starts doing good? Prices start changing. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just joking a little bit.
No, but what shameless plug here, with some of our technology is so competitive for a dealer, meaning we take it to your competition for you. Because once again, we're your partner. We have exclusivity on a lot of our products and markets. So it's no sales spin. It's just I can't go steal your competitors' customers for you and yours for them. You'll both fire us. So it is now that I'm out of my jail sentence, so to say. We can take on new markets, new opportunities, and truthfully, some of it is first come, first serve.
Yeah, that's awesome, Richard. You there's so many things that we can continue to talk about, and we can continue to drag this. It's not so much drag. This is a fun talk, and I'm over here looking at the time like, wow. We got 5 questions out. We did it on an hour. We were already having conversations with you inside of the clubhouse about the room for improvement.
That's right.
And there were so many great, I'm going to say it, nuggets that were dropped inside of just that conversation. And I can't say enough how much we value people like you that are really, really trying to find a way to help people succeed, not just pitch your product, but succeed. And one thing that inspired me was the way that you would just turn on the screen, show somebody that you're talking to about what your company is doing without the prep, let me make sure that they actually are doing what I'm going to say they're going to do. But no, you said, I believe in my people. I believe in our mission. I believe that what we're doing is of value. Look at this, and turn that screen around, show them, look, this is what's happening right now.
That is.
And that level of transparency is ultimately what people are needing. Again, we are inside of the WebMD culture where everybody is an expert because they can Google it. And you actually have the tools to upgrade, to upshift, to uplift a company. And we're so pumped up about it. You're teamed up with an incredible car gal. And I cannot say anymore how excited I can say.
I do want to throw one little thing out there, because I want Richard, since we got some time, Rich, so I want you to pitch this. I want you to give me an elevator pitch here in a second, but I want to throw out a quick thing that they have that's unique. I think that a lot of businesses out there that do what they do, or try to do what they do, I should say, they have month-to-month contracts, folks. That's something that a lot of places, they want you to get on a year contract, 6-month contract. They want this and that. Well, Rich believes in his product so much. He's like, let's go month to month, because I promise you every month I'm just going to get another check. And what I mean by that's great, because it doesn't put any pressure on the dealer. The dealer can try it out, give it a little flavor, see if that's the type of, sample cup, see if they like it. I'm sure he has contracts for years if you want to do that, but he's only going to make you commit to at least one month to month. I think that's great. Rick Friedman put that out there. I remember you talking about that, and that just hit a point in my head. So I wanted to put a note out there for you. But Rich.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that show, Survivor. Right?
Yeah.
Of all the television shows, I'm a little bit addicted to it. And but if you watch Survivor, back to the very first guy, Richard Hatch, everybody hated that guy. But what did he do? He caught fish. The reason he won the show was he went out and he caught fish, and people would rather have a guy they didn't like in the tribe than go hungry. And not that people hate us, but I just go at that. If we're doing a good job for you and we're bringing ups through the door, you're going to keep us. Like, I don't need a piece of paper, right? You're going to keep us around. Why would you fire us if we're producing for your dealership?
Right.
And at the same time, it just in my experience over the years, if we're not producing, and in situations even when there is a contract, everybody's looking for the back door. And if you don't want to, once again, it's that whole partnership. if we're not a good partner and we're not a good fit, let's just part friends, right? And you go your way, I'll go our way, and we hardly ever lose any clients. Not hopefully this is wood, but that's just the way I truly feel. If we're not the right thing for you, I don't want dealers, spending their hard-earned money to giving it to us. There's a sacred trust to that, and we got to produce. And just like a sales guy on the floor, if you had a guy that month after month after month didn't get any sales, he's not going to be working for you anymore. And we want to go with that same attitude.
100%.
Yeah, Amanda says it right. The proof is in the pudding, and that's what you guys do. You put the proof in the pudding. They try the pudding, and they're like, you know what? I want a second. I want another cup of pudding. And it's so right, and it's so true. And that's what I love about it. So if I was to sit down with you, and you and I were getting ready to get into an elevator, right? And it was like, hey, we all know this. You have about 60 seconds to pitch me on your company and make me want to give you a second meeting. How would you do that?
I would say that we're the company that helps bring you and your customers closer together, and we can do it a way that fits inside your culture. Most vendors want you to adapt to them. You got to adapt to their software, their technology, their way of doing things. What Dealership Toolkit's going to come in is we're going to adapt to your culture, and we're going to try to help you get the most out of your existing culture. Not to say that we're not going to give you suggestions or hey, maybe you should try this or maybe you should try that. But if at the end of the day, it's our job as your partner and your vendor to help you get the best out of your people. So if you're working with Dealership Toolkit, we do our 3 C's. All right. We contact, we capture, and we close. That's what we do. And when I say close, we're going to close them on an appointment. And then we're even going to close up the TO. If you didn't sell them, we're going to be right behind you. Hey, Mr. Smith, why didn't you buy that car? Oh, because the sales guy was more interested in his phone than you. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to get you over to the manager. Fred is going to take care of you right now. Well, hey, we're so sorry about that. Do you got 2 minutes? We're going to help you TO that deal and save it, because that's what we do. So, we're going to capture the right people for you to talk to. We're going to contact them in unique ways that I guarantee you most companies, most vendors, most people out there you haven't seen before. We do some weird stuff here, but it's very effective. And then we're going to close them up. We're going to close them on that appointment. We're going to make sure they show up for that appointment. And then if you don't sell them, we're going to be right there behind you to try to get them back in the door so you can take a second shot at them. And that's what we do.
Love it.
It's a contagiously confident contact, capture, and close correlation for car guys and car gals to connect to their culture of caffeinated consistency. I love it.
we have some. Rick Freeman always talks about our 3 C's. I'm gonna have to tell him now. He needs to add a couple more, like consistency, caffeination, and what was it? Culture. There we go. It's a 6 C's.
I love it. So you got, Rick's all over this. He says we are all partner, not a vendor, and I love that. And Rick, that's right. You have a great culture there, man. And obviously Rick knows what he's talking about. Everybody's doing it. I appreciate it. What a great morning I've had. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to the dealership, because when I get there today, I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna tell you, my team's about to get some Fred Subprime Hero energy up in that mug when I get there today, because I am caffeinated. I am pumped, positive, and productive. I'm all those things that I need to do. Consistency, caffeine, culture is what Amanda Sanders says. But yes, capture. I love your 3 C's. I love what you're doing. The one thing that I really love about Dealership Toolkit is, like, you guys, like you said, you're just trying to make it to where you can help a dealer whichever way is possible. And even if it's not partnering up, if it's not a good relationship, you don't want that. You don't want that relationship. It's like dating the wrong person. You don't want that relationship. You want to move on and go on and do some better stuff, let them have a better chance. It's like everything that you need. And Dealership Toolkit, they're bringing that to you. They're bringing relationships over revenue. They're bringing ideas, and they're bringing a new culture into your dealership that can help you grow so fast. They're not trying, like he said, he's not trying to change your store. He's just trying to complement your store. He's trying to make it a little bit better for you. He's trying to put that cream inside that coffee so it's not so bitter. So I do appreciate you for being here this morning. Rich.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my pleasure, man.
You're an amazing person, man. And we're looking forward to growing with you some more, looking forward to doing a follow-up with you. Because I'm going to tell you, 6 months from now, mark my words, Dealership Toolkit is going to be big. So folks, watch out for them, reach out to them, get in touch with them, Jump on before they're so booked up that it's going to be hard to get an appointment. I'm sure they'll always find time for you, though. Rich is that type of person. Reach out to him or Liz Martin. Liz Martin's also on Facebook, Instagram. She's everywhere. She's but definitely LinkedIn, folks. LinkedIn is the hot spot if you're a business person. LinkedIn is the place to go if you want to connect and grow your network. Go to LinkedIn. Check them out there. They have a lot of great information. They put out great videos. Just the other day, they put one out with they just opened a call center. They had some of their employees there. They were doing interviews with them, talking about their culture and how much fun they're having, learning to do what they do and helping other people. Great video, great stuff, great content. Way to go, man. And keep it coming. Do not stop that content. The key to that type of stuff, take it from me, is do it every day and be consistent. And the more you do it, the better they become and the easier it becomes for you. Keep growing, my friends. You guys keep doing your thing. Rich, you go on. Have a great day. I know you're a busy man. Thank you for spending this last 2 hours with us, because I know we spent an hour this morning on Clubhouse and now an hour here. Thank you so much, folks. Share this out. People, make sure that you let people know who the Dealership Toolkit is. Let's go, caffeinated culture. Pass this around. Pass it around.
Biggest room in the world, everybody, is the room for improvement. Once again, just want to show you this quick message of what happens when Dealership Toolkit gets inside of your room for improvement. Once again, thank you so much. We are excited to be partnered up with incredible solutionaries like the Dealership Toolkit, all of the other sponsors and those that have jumped in and partnered up with us in trying to put out this message to keep growing. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, everybody. There is so much room for improvement, and so many people want to be able to help you. Remember, you cannot take correction in a way that's somebody cutting and trying to hurt you, but take that sharpening as something that makes you better at doing what it is that you do. We are here to help. And speaking of bringing people together that are doing better things for the industry, we are teaming up, championing this message for the Car Gal Coffee podcast. The Sisters of Savings are trying to put a contagiously confident laugh out there that we want to make sure gets out to the masses. If you're looking for something kind of like this, or you're scanning through like this, we know we can help you find what it is that you're looking for. There are so many solutions out there, but if you keep going to carguycoffee.com, you're going to contact, capture, and close the things that you want inside of your business. If you activate your faith, you activate your hope, you activate whatever it is that you have to bring to the industry, turn it on. Put a fire to it, and I'm telling you, you're going to see some great results. But it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take some consistency, but it's going to take you taking a conscious effort every day to focus on improving it. And we know that you can do it, and we're teaming up with more people that are here to help you out. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on the podcast today. Thank you so much, everybody, for being solutionaries. We are going to rise. We are going to fly together. We are so pumped up to let you know that we are actually brewing solutions on the fixed ops marketing side of things. We got this handsome guy that is Russ Hollywood Hill.
You gotta love that guy.
So pumped up that he is brewing solutions inside or on the podcast right now. That is the release for the day, the first part of our next level. Our next level leaders are being led by Russell Hollywood Hill. So pumped up about that. Make sure that you guys go get you some of that. It is available for your listening pleasure right now.
Anywhere that podcasts are available, folks.
All places.
Apple, anywhere. If you listen to podcasts, whatever streaming that you use, whether it's Spotify, it doesn't matter. We're everywhere. We've been on every one of those for a long time. We have a lot of listeners on those. We appreciate all the listeners that listen to the podcast. Just like this show here with Rich. Folks, if you guys want to get a second sampling of it, we will be breaking this down into 3 pieces or 2 pieces, whatever it is. It will be in about 2-3 weeks. You'll see it. You'll hear it again, folks, and it's going to be really nice. And we'll actually even put out some more video again. We'll break it down into pieces. But Rich, thank you so much for being here this morning. Go out there and crush your day. Thanks for bringing some light to us. Thanks for helping me smile today. Thanks for getting me motivated and giving me some tips on how I can improve what I'm doing too. So thank you so much.
Well, car guys.
Thanks, guys.
I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Fred Lenhartz, the subprime hero.
And you have been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast.
Woo!
Let's brew. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great and wonderful day. Go change the world around you. You can do it. You can do it. We're with you. Love you, Rich. Talk to you. Get backstage with us real quick. We'll talk to you in a minute. Car guys and car gals, love you all so much. Again, thank you for all our sponsors. Thank you all these people that have been part of caffeinating a culture for the industry. They are the amazing solutionaries that we
can't press the right button. There it is. There's the magical button.
There they are. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We hope that you had fun. We hope that we maybe brought you a smile. Maybe there was something that was poured inside of your cup, but it's in your cup. So sip it up, drink it up. Go make something big happen with your day.
Be the light today. Be that person when you walk in the room, you make everybody else light up. It's okay. Do that. Because I promise you, even if you're in a bad mood right now, just be the light. It will change you. Smile, dance a little bit, shake that booty. It will change your life. Have fun, man. Enjoy your day, folks. Go out and have fun. We'll see y'all later. Peace out. This was the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Let's brew. See y'all later.